Hello everyone. So the affirmative's plan to ban fracking has been primarily based off of environmental scare tactics and unbacked up claims of economic costs. However, what they have failed to discuss are the major disadvantages we will face by banning fracking. There are three main disadvantages I'd like to discuss. One would be all the economic benefits we would lose from fracking. Two would be we would lose our ability to be energy dependent or independent and not rely on other countries. And three, air pollution would actually increase by banning fracking. So for the first major disadvantage, the economic downsides, there are 4 subpoints I'd like to discuss, and that would be we would lose jobs, we would lose state and federal funds, the price of fuels would increase, and water for farmers would actually increase. According to Daniel Yagin, vice chair of the global consulting firm, said, "Today the industry supports 1.7 million jobs, a considerable accomplishment given the relative newness of the technology. This number could rise to 3 million by 2020. And specifically for California, according to Antonio Avalos, PhD at California State University, Fresno, says that hydraulic fracturing has been used in California for decades to enhance the recovery of a state's prolific oil and natural gas resources. These resources contribute in significant ways to the state's economy, jobs, and energy supply. Some 21,000 California jobs are linked with the production of oil and natural gas, and half of those jobs are just in the San Joaquin Valley by itself." And finally, Dr. Paul Sullivan, a professor of economics at the National Defense University, says, "What if we stop fracking tomorrow? We would lose massive amounts of jobs, investments, oil, gas, and more. Import costs would go up, export revenues would go down, inflation will go up, the economy would go down, unemployment will go up, standards of living would go down. Energy price shocks cause economic downturns. Stopping fracking would cause one of the biggest energy shocks in the recent past." So as you can see, fracking provides lots of jobs, and if we banned it, hundreds of thousands or millions of people would lose their job, and this in turn would negatively affect the economy. For my second point, that fracking, if we ban fracking, we would lose federal and state revenues. According to the Energy Tomorrow American Petroleum Institute, hydraulic fracturing in the Marcellus and Barnett Shale has boosted local economies, generating royalty payments to property owners, providing tax revenue to the government, and creating much-needed high-paying American jobs. Engineering and surveying, construction, hospitality, equipment manufacturing, and environmental permitting are just some of the professions experiencing positive effects from the fracking. And according to the new report from Heartland Institute, increased oil and gas revenues has translated into a projected 600 million surplus for North Dakota's current fiscal year. This is just for North Dakota, and this relates to each state individually and to the country as a whole. North Dakota expects to generate $7.5 billion in oil and gas tax revenue during the 2013 to 2015 years. So I know that was just specific to North Dakota, but it also can be applied to any state. So as you can see, by fracking, lots of revenue is being generated by states and the country as a whole, and the government is able to collect a lot more taxes, which we can use to help schools build roads, repair the roads that they say were being damaged, and to basically spend the money where our country needs it the most. For my third point, that fracking lowers the cost of fuels. According to the Ford School of Public Policy, gas bills have dropped $13 billion per year from 2007 to 2013 as a result of increased fracking, which adds up to $200 per year for gas-consuming households. Moreover, all types of energy consumers, including commercial, industrial, and electric power consumers, saw economic gains totaling $74 billion per year from an increased fracking. So as you can see, fracking reduces the prices of energy, which in turn benefits all of us, the consumers. Unless you want to see your natural gas bills go up, the price at the pump go up. I know I didn't like seeing $4 a gallon at the station. I don't think anyone did. So if we ban fracking, all these prices will go up and negatively affect the economy. And for my fourth sub-point, that fracking actually provides cheaper water to farmers. According to David Anselbeer, head of the Water Distribution Co-op, said that farmers pay $33 per acre foot compared to $1,500 for the same quantity of fresh water. So after water is fracked, it goes through a purification process and is then sold to farmers at an extremely reduced rate. So if we ban fracking, farmers would then have to pay much more money for water, which would result in higher food costs, and again, it would affect everyone and negatively affect the economy. So for my second main disadvantage, that by banning fracking, we would lose our self-dependence of energy. To start, Dr. Paul Sullivan, a professor of economics at National Defense University, says that fracking accounts for close to 50% of all natural gas and oil production. Our production of natural gas from shale fields and tight gas has increased by 40 billion cubic feet per day since 2002, and our production of shale and tight oil from fracking has increased by 4 million barrels a day since 2002. So as you can see, fracking is a major source of our oil and natural gas in California and America. If we were to ban fracking, we would lose this critical source of energy and would then have to rely again on importing all of our energy, mainly from the Middle East. And we all know that we have lots of issues there, and it's best if we can be dependent on ourselves and stay out of there. According to Leighton Keel, a writer for Journalist Resource, she's talking about before fracking was allowed. Respecting the law up to now has been easy, given America's declining domestic oil production and thirst for imported oil. In 2006, the country imported 3.7 billion barrels. What changed between then and now all come down to one word: fracking. On July 30th of 2014, the United States did something it had never done before. It exported domestically produced crude oil. So now that we're fracking, we're actually producing so much oil and natural gas, we can actually export it. And the U.S. That's 7 minutes?
Yep.
And now the U.S. Is actually ahead of the Middle East in oil production. And for my my third disadvantage.
You don't have time. You're out of time.
Okay. Well, that goes fast.